Welcome back, everybody, to episode 11 of the Phish Tank podcast. It is just us three again. I think we did a pretty good job with the thumbnail last time. We actually tested out one of our three faces for the first time in the thumbnail, and it did pretty all right, probably because you guys recognize who we are. I think we're going to do that for this episode again. We'll see what the thumbnail comes out to be. How are you guys?
I'm doing good.
I'm chilling, man. I'm doing pretty solid. I did so much today. Did you know that? It was the most productive day I've had since winter began.
Why?
Let's run through.
Yeah, I went to the car dealership, replaced all the tires on my car. So that finally happened. They all suffered from tire rot, apparently. So that
How much was each tire? It's like $250 a tire.
I don't know how much the total was, but the grand total, since I only brought it in for a service check and do the minimum stuff, and they're just like, hey, there's a reason why your monitor says all of your tires have low air pressure. I'm like, oh, it's not just because of the cold weather? Because, when the weather's cold, sometimes your tires just go down in pressure because of science or something. But no, it's just no, you got cracks in every single one of your tires. I'm like, how is that even possible? And he's like, do you drive very often? I'm like, fuck. No. I don't drive at all. And he's like, okay, well, if you drive, the tires have this thing where it makes it God, I'm sorry, I'm dying. Allergies are also among us, in case you're wondering. But apparently when you're driving, your tires pressurize the air or something and keep it from cracking, or some science bullshit.
So you have to drive. You should make it part of your routine to drive every day.
Yeah, make it part of my routine to just basically burn my money because gas is so damn expensive right now.
Yeah, gas is fucking crazy.
So I got all my tires replaced in the service. That came out to around $800 total. So that was a fun blow to my savings that I was not expecting to have happen, since I was.
What I'm hearing is that we need a sponsor for the podcast desperately. So
that would be
Twobold
sick.
Can continue to make sure his car doesn't break down.
And I cleaned my entire house. I had a massive pile of boxes from Christmas that I just kept in a corner and just didn't even touch. And it took me all of 5 minutes to dismantle them. And I don't know why it took me so long. But they've been there forever, and I finally broke them down and cleaned my whole house. And now it smells like soap.
I'm glad you're cleaning your house. I'm wanting to upgrade my house a little bit. I just told Twobold this right before we started the podcast. I am purchasing an inflatable hot tub as well as a beanbag. And those are both pretty expensive items to put in your house. But I'm very excited about the inflatable hot tub. Nate said that he wants to come over and help me out. Nate is someone who lives around here, and he wants to test it out. Yeah, Eliminate, and he wants to test it out. So I'm looking forward to that.
What,
he was actually saying he wants to come on the podcast, but the only way he'll do it is if all of us are there in person. And he wants to, we're gonna get fly out Twobold, and we're gonna do a in-person podcast with Nate.
Oh, sounds pretty fun.
Where we get fucking wasted.
We get wasted as well.
That sounds like a good podcast, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just our own.
I bought a bunch of shit this week. I spent so much money this week. So I bought this mic. I bought more headphones for the studio. We bought.
Did you get that 8-string guitar as well?
Yeah, I bought that last week. Yeah, I've been spending a lot of money. I just got a credit card, for my first time. I'm 28 years old, and I just received my first credit card.
Now, is it because you didn't want a credit card, or because people were just like, we're not giving you a credit card?
No, so what happened was me and my dad share the same name, and so my school would send bills oh, these are your loans. You owe these. And then my dad was like, I don't have any loans. And then threw them out. So I defaulted on a bunch of student loans in my credit. And my credit was in the toilet. So I was a long time I tried to rebuild my credit. And now I finally have really great credit.
Awesome, man.
Dude, I need somebody to help me take care of those types of issues. I remember trying to get my first credit card was miserable for the first time because a lot of the time they'll just straight up ask you, all right, what's your credit score? And I'm like, how am I supposed to establish that if I didn't have a credit card to begin with? I don't even know how I ended up getting one to begin with for the first time. But all I told them was that
one for
Salty
one
Fish? Of those.
What?
You're one of those.
Don't you have one for Salty Fish?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be fine.
I mean, no, I'm saying now I'm fine, but just the process of trying to get one to begin with, because I tried getting one as soon as I started making real consistent money. It was a pretty tough situation to explain to them. I have.
So
Well, I'm fine now. I'm just saying it was just miserable first getting that.
The best way to do it is your parents help you out. So they'll get like a credit card under your name when you're like 15 and start buying like a bunch of shit.
Oh yeah, that's what I had to. That's what I ended up doing. But
apparently, my family has a really tough time with credit cards. Like my dad used to tell me, like he had zero way of getting a credit card. Like when he was dating my mom, and like well into after they were married, and he had like his own business, and he wasn't doing poorly at all. Like he had his own business, he was fine, and no one would give him a credit card. He couldn't go to Home Depot and get a credit card.
How bad was his credit? Why was his credit so bad?
He just never established credit. He did everything in
but
just
he owns
cash.
A business.
Yeah, but like he did everything in cash, right? So like up until that point, he was like trying to get a credit card. I'm like, you have no credit, and he's just like, well, yeah, but I have money, and they're like, that means nothing here, silly. They just like, money. And my brother had the same issue. He could not get a credit card to save his life, and he ostensibly had very good credit because our parents didn't want us to have the same issues. So they did what Louis said, where they gave us a credit card or like started building credit under their name. But my brother couldn't get a credit card. Like he could not for years get a credit card. He got his first one like a month and a half ago, and he was so excited because he got denied like 5 times for credit cards, and that apparently hurts your credit score. For some reason, just to be told no, you cannot get a better credit score. Like it just detracts it. And I had no issue getting my credit card, but for some reason my credit score just went up recently, but the maximum amount I can spend on my card went down by like $150 for no reason. I have been nothing but responsible.
So don't get ahead of yourself, okay?
Yeah, exactly. It was insane. I was so mad. I was like, I have been the best, like, what's it called? Customer, sure. I've been the best customer you could ask for. And they're like, disgusting.
Do you pay the minimum or the just completely off every month?
I pay it off every month.
Oh, that's cool. So Twobold, are you much of a partier?
Much of a partier?
Yeah.
No, I would not say I'm much of a partier.
Are you like the guy that like is sitting in the corners like they don't even know that I beat Elden Ring in 70 hours, and then it's just like a bunch of people dancing?
God, no. I just don't usually go to that many parties. When I go to a party, I'm like, okay, I don't want to be the guy that stands in the corner with like they'd have no idea I'd beat Elden Ring and Jump King in like 70 hours. So I'll go and get blasted, and then it doesn't matter what kind of person I am. I'm a drunk guy at a party, and it takes care of itself.
That's good
for the most part. And like it just helps. Like I know a lot of people don't drink, but if you're nervous about anything, get drunk. It's so much easier.
It's also the best excuse.
Yeah, I don't like using it as an excuse.
I know, but it is though. Like if you said
100%.
or did something stupid, like, oh, dude, I was drunk. I'm sorry.
I mean, that works for like a small amount, I think.
Yeah.
Like it depends on just how drunk you get. Like you can clearly tell when someone's buzzed, and they're like, "Oh, I don't remember." I'm like, yeah, you do. You were buzzed. You weren't crazy. And then there's people that are just like, you can't understand what they're saying. And like, there's no way they're going to remember this night ever. Like, that's like, there's a very clear line. So I don't like when people use an excuse and just like, oh man, sorry, I was so drunk. I'm like, you were coherent.
Some people you really can't tell though. They're really good at covering up their like, I don't know, slurring of their words, like when they start getting drunk and all that.
No, they're not. When they're that drunk,
I've met a couple people that are pretty good about it, that like, they'll wake up in the morning and be like, holy shit, I was blacked out. I was like, dude, you were like normal. Like, what's...
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know whether or not to trust them. But then once you're like retelling a story to them, like from the night that happened, and they just act clueless, it's like, wow, you really were that bad. I couldn't even tell.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever gotten to that point in like a very, very long time. Like, you know when you're in college and you do a limit test to just see how much you can drink with your friends?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you wake up and you're just like, okay, so that's clearly too much. Like, you can't even walk the next day. You're like puking your brains out and you have a headache that just refuses to go away. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
I think the worst time that I ever blacked out was from a Fireball Christmas night. Did I talk about this on the podcast already?
I don't remember it.
It's so scary. I would hate to repeat a story on the podcast. But yeah, it was a Christmas themed party, and there were people at college, and we were just casual drinking. And then I remember there was one of the first few times that I had Fireball. I remember because I've only had it a couple times in my life. And then I was looking at the handle of the bottle, and I was drinking completely fine. And then all of a sudden, I'm just like, oh, we're heading out. And then my friend goes, yeah, let's finish the bottle. It's like only like 2 shots left. And then he takes like a little swig of it. But like it was more like a gulp, not exactly a shot. And he's like, okay, whoa. And I'm like, all right, my turn. And then I just remember I picked up the whole handle, put it to my mouth. And then I remember I like looked at it again. I'm like, yeah, we killed it. So the bottle was empty. And the next thing you know, it was Sunday morning. I was like, what the fuck? What was this? That was the worst that I had ever blacked out. Like we even made it out to the club. So I went there, and then the bouncer looked at me, and he was like, "You're too drunk to get in." And then there's this other girl who I just met that night, and she was defending me. She was like, "No, look, he can do the thing." And then she's like, and I'm like, "What thing?" And she goes, "Walk in a straight line." So then I put my arms up at my side, and then I just started doing the thing that like the cops do when they ask like a drunk driver, walk in a straight line. Like I did it, and then they let me in. And apparently I was like fine besides that. Like I didn't have any bouncers come up to me past that, but I was definitely just way gone. It was scary.
Did they ever tell you anything crazy that you did that you like don't remember?
That night? No, I was just like dancing the whole night. They said I wasn't talking.
Like in general for either of you guys.
Oh, just throughout my whole life?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I don't want to jump from one story to another. I'll give you guys a turn. But I think the scariest one in terms of getting in trouble was a Sunday morning when I went to Target after the night happened. And we got a call from campus security that apparently my friend and I pushed a cart, like a shopping cart, which was used to transfer bread from trucks to the cafeteria when they were delivered to school. We pushed a shopping cart all the way down a hill at my campus. And when it smashed at the bottom, it kind of dented a gate, and then like the wheels went flying everywhere. And they're like, that was the shopping cart that we that we always used every day. I know that's like the most random thing to break. I don't know. That's like the first thing that came to mind. And it was just scary talking to him, being like, I don't know if that was us. And he's like, I see you guys on camera. You guys swiped into the cafeteria immediately beforehand with your cards. I have your ID. You guys did this. You need to tell us where the missing parts for these shopping carts are because they accused us of stealing them. But I was like, no, we definitely did
this,
not.
Officer. If it was us, why don't I remember something that cool?
Yeah, no, I felt so horrible because I was like, I have no recollection of this whatsoever. I wanted to ask him so bad, can we just see the footage? But I couldn't do it in the moment. I was like too scared.
So I got fucking wasted once in a college apartment building, and I don't remember anything that happened at all. And I woke up with a random person shaking me because I was on the lawn of the front area of the apartment building. Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice.
Oh, no.
Like I fell asleep
just
outside.
in the grass.
I fell asleep outside with a fucking pool of throw up between my legs, and I
That
was
happened
like
to my
this.
friend, dude.
And apparently I was all over Yik Yak, which is the Twitter
Oh man, that's a
of like college campuses,
Yes.
like local TikTok. Like only like a 10-mile radius can see these posts. And yeah, everybody's like, yeah, if you want to go see some random dude passed out, go to 109 Tower. And yeah, that was I think that was the drunkest I've ever got, but I don't remember anything, dude. Well, actually,
That's
I've ended
pretty
up in
good.
the hospital from alcohol poisoning, but I don't even think I was that drunk then. No, yes, I was. I got into random people's
my blackout
Ubers.
drunk stories are very small because I don't really do anything apparently, except I get into arguments about really stupid shit, and like I get
Sounds like
very
you.
loud. Yeah, well, I mean, that's nothing new from like just normal me, but apparently just drunk me just chooses the stupidest possible argument to possibly get into. Like apparently I was at one of my friends' parties and I had to play catch up when I got there because I was driving from like over 2 hours away. So I got there relatively late and they're like, Christian, you gotta catch up. So I just never had an empty glass in my hand. So I was just drinking the entire time I was there. Yeah, I never saw the bottom of my cup. Like one of my friends would just come over and just pour stuff in. I'm like, what is this? He's like, doesn't matter. I'm like, fair enough. And I just keep drinking it. And I got belligerently drunk. And then someone brought up board games or something that they were doing. And they're just like, some girl said that she didn't understand the rules of the game, and the guy that in the card game that we're playing was very simple. Some guy's just like, oh, don't worry about it. I don't even know the rules to Candyland, and I took that as like a personal offense. Because Candyland is the easiest game ever created. You draw a card, there's a color, and then you move your piece to the nearest color, and that is it. That's it. That's Candyland. And I was so mad at him. Apparently, I'm like, you don't understand Candyland! And I went on a tirade against this guy, and he's crying laughing because I'm so impassioned about this. The girl is just bawling her eyes out because of how upset I am. And I'm just going around, I'm constantly grabbing him like, can you play Candyland? And he's just like, what the fuck is Candyland? I'm like, useless! And I threw him to the side. And I just went to the next person over and over. And every time I found someone, apparently I grabbed them like, good, come with me. And I would drag them over to this guy like, he knows how to play Candyland. And then I would just push him away and find the next person. And I would keep bringing them over.
Yo, have you talked to the Candyland guy yet? What do you mean? And then you pulled over. Do you know how to play Candyland?
and everyone was just like, everyone got a turn. I went by every single person and brought them over to that guy. And by the end of it, they're just like, oh, hey, it's the Candyland dude. And I was just vibing in the kitchen. Now, like after I did this, I immediately just said, I've made my point. And I went into the kitchen and they had like a speaker there. And it was just playing some rap music, and I was just going like this, like the entire time, just like dancing, like just a normal white guy dance to music, and I was vibing. Apparently, I was vibing, and some girl that I had dragged over to this other person was like, "Do you know Candyland?" And she's just like, "Hey, you're really funny," and I'm just like, "Yeah." I was just doing this the entire time.
Word was probably getting around the party. Yo, if someone asks you if you know Candyland, say yes. Even if you don't know, you have to say yes to this guy. Trust me, he's crazy.
He's not going to ask you anything about it.
He just needs to know.
And I was just vibing. She's just like, "Hey, you want to dance with me?" And I was just like, "You want to dance with me?" And I was just sitting there doing this the whole time. And then apparently she gets like real close, and I was just like, "Can you foxtrot?" And she's like, "What?" And I grab her and I pull her in close, and we start slow dancing to rap music. All right, I was doing like the waltz with this girl apparently, because I thought that was the best dance I knew. I was just like,
so you were just wasted.
Exactly.
Okay, you were
I
just
was
drunk.
so smooth.
Okay,
and she was apparently so overwhelmed by how good of a dancer I was that she ended up kissing me that night. And I don't remember any of that thing I did. I don't remember any of it. And I was
feel like that happens to you a lot though. You get drunk and then like you go on really crazy rants, and then a bunch of people find you fucking hilarious and want to be around you more. Like,
I just need to go on rants more, but I just need to get into this headspace of being offended first for something really stupid. Like it just takes really small asinine things for me to get going. Like
somebody needs to say their opinion about something, and you need to be like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
This
like
is how we
could
can
just be
wingman
like,
for you. You tell us stuff that you hate, and then we'll tell
Yes!
somebody an opinion on it, the exact opposite one. Then we'll be like, "Yo, go tell him that. Go talk about that with this guy." And then it'll just be
it has to be organic. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I'll know if someone just comes to me and be like, "Hey, Twobold," or "I hear you hate Pluto," and I'm just like, "Who told you that?" And I'll just find the person that did it, and that'll be its own issue. But it's like, I don't know. Someone's like, I remember one that I did was like, someone was just like, "Yeah, I don't think Eminem's response to MGK was better than MGK's initial rap." And I'm like, "What? You think what MGK's like when they started beef? I forgot the two song names. Like one is Kill Shot. I think that's MGK's, right?
No,
and then whatever
Kill Shot was Eminem's.
Okay, that was the one for MGK.
I don't know, but I thought
it was like the opposite of Rap God, wasn't it?
I'm gonna be, I guess, the other person here. I thought MGK's was like a better song in general. Like,
I thought
if it wasn't a
was
diss
way
song,
better.
like I thought it was better. Like they had a hook. It had like a bunch of, I don't know. I thought his flow was. I'm not really the biggest Eminem fan either, so we'll just.
I just thought, as far as diss tracks went, I'm like, okay, maybe it could be a better song. I don't know, but like the disses sucked ass compared to Eminem's. Like you're a molehill, I'm about to make a mountain out of you, and like in order to make you, or in order to diss you, I had to make you, or something. Like, Jesus Christ, he's getting fucked up. And the other guy was just like, yeah, no, MGK's was better. And I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? And I just started going in on him about it, and that was its own separate thing.
I mean, I don't know much about disses in general, but I think MGK's song was better. Like, as
you're
a
rich,
song,
but you're still mad. A line like that. I was just like, that's true. Like, MGK said that about Eminem. He's like, after all this time, you're rich and you're still fucking upset at the world.
Yeah. Because he made a I mean, the whole beef is fucking stupid, too. It's not like he... Like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I like, old rap beef was like, you killed my friend, and now I'm gonna fucking... You know, he just made a joke about his daughter. You know, like, and the daughter's like a 30-year-old now. You know, it's not like it's like a, you know, that's all MGK did, and I don't know. It's just like,
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, of the two, when it came to the actual disses or whatnot, I was very much enjoying Eminem's way more than MGK's.
I'll have to listen to them again.
Because I think it was Ja Rule. Yeah, back in the day, one of the lines was like that he had against Eminem. That was like, M, you claim your mother's a crackhead, and Kim is a known slut, so what's Haley gonna be when she grows up? And then that was just like, holy fuck, dude! Oh my god! and then like,
it's so funny. Phish's rap like knowledge history always surprises me. I'll throw in like an old school rap song. He'll like turn to me and know every word. Like, what
I'm like, oh shit!
I always forget that he knows Wu-Tang like crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think one of the best verses
if you're from
a
New
rap
York,
song.
you have to.
I think one of the best verses from a rap song is like, it's very well known, but it's just the first verse of Triumph. You guys should look that up. It starts with like bomb atomically, and then there's just so many words.
That's the one you're always singing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, because I always start with a bomb atomically. I think it was mostly it definitely wasn't me that was showing music to other people. We've talked about I don't know much about music, but it was just the people in my neighborhood were always putting me onto a bunch of rap songs, and I'm glad because like.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's a cool history to have.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Better than fucking classic rock. I'll tell you that much.
Dude, my music knowledge was dog water. Still is, dude. Like, to this day, like, I don't know music. I can't remember lyrics, which is the biggest reason why I don't, like, listen to music as much as most people. It's because, like, I like songs, don't get me wrong. Like, when I listen to stuff, I'm like, oh, yeah, I enjoy this. But, like, it never sticks in my head to, like, any degree at all. Like, it's as if it's a brand new song every time it comes on in my head. Because I can't remember the lyrics to save my life. But I listened to, like, the exact same 12 songs in high school, like, all the time. That all my friends would show me, and I'm like, hey, that's a good one. And I would find it on LimeWire and put it on, like, the one playlist I had on my iPod. I would just listen to the same songs, pretty much, if I wanted to listen to music. I'm like, I like this one song.
I just can't
Because I would go and try and find songs on my own, and all of them would be so bad, and I'd be like, I don't know how to find good music. I think that was, like, the big thing. I couldn't find good music.
I'm can't understand the lyrics a lot of the time.
Is this like a confessional? Like, I
especially with new music, man. I hate to sound like that. It's all mumble rap. They're not making any sense. But I mean that. A lot of the times when I'm hearing new rap, I don't know what they're saying. Yeah,
bro. All the Lils, man. I'm worried. I was talking about this at this party yesterday, dude. They're going broke.
They're going broke.
Dude, Lil Xan, Lil Pump, what's gonna happen to them?
Was it? You said some absurd number, like he put out a song, he only got 20,000 plays on it or something.
Something like that, dude. I know, like Lil Pump, Lil Xan's like album only sold like 2,000 or something like that. I mean, we don't want beef for the fucking podcast, but
that's okay. I think. Lil
you
Xan
said you're worried
understand.
for them, so you're.
I am worried for them, dude.
Yeah.
I want them to be okay. You know.
They need to all come back, except instead of Lil something, all the Lils, they'll come back as Big and then their name.
Big, yeah.
Like Lil Pump will come back as Big Pump.
Xan.
Big Xan.
Big Pump.
We're back.
It's like the horse pills would be like horse-sized Xan. I just think like it's really important to have like a really solid flow for your rap to become timeless. Like the one that you can just like understand for the most part. Like there are songs that are good where you like the lyrics are kind of to the side, I guess, and like they just kind of sound good, but like they don't have the staying power of like I don't know, this is like a different genre, understandably, but like "Carry On My Wayward Son," every single human on planet Earth knows. Like you could just say like any part of it, and everyone would just be like, "Oh yeah, no, I know that one."
Or that
Like,
the Backstreet Boys song from my
yeah.
my one desire.
Tell me why.
I got a little bit emotional. I know this is like not like I guess part of.
Was it about the little Xan thing too?
No. I was gonna say I got a little emotional during this year's Super Bowl halftime performance.
Oh,
it was like all the songs, like I
50
recognized
Cent
all of them. It was like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Eminem.
So
I'll
many
be honest
people
with you,
got
I didn't know
upset.
who Mary J. Blige was. I had no idea who she was.
Wait, really?
My mom was the one that put me on to Mary J. Blige. She
Yeah,
had some classics.
I've never seen her before in my life. I was like, who is that? I know everyone else but that person, but apparently like everyone's just like, yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah, no.
who is that? I felt really bad about it because I'm like, I probably should know who this is.
50 Cent and Kendrick Lamar, I think, were the last two. And
That was
I
so
just,
sick.
the part that got me really emotional was when they started playing the piano of Still Dre, I think it was. Just the intro to that song. It's like, oh man, it's just like, I remember hearing that like back then because my
very
friend
first
constantly
time.
be playing that song, even though it's like not even like when we were young. It's not even at that point. It was past its like initial hype release, but they still played it a bunch back when I was
Do you
younger.
think we're just a nostalgia generation?
At this point, why not?
Like we just everything that is marketed to us is just like, remember this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, when you go with cult classics, come on. Why
Because like
wouldn't you be?
in the new Spider-Man, I don't know if this is spoilers or not. It is a
The
spoiler
digital
alert.
release is out now.
Okay, well, spoiler alert. The Tobey Maguire. I got actually emotional when Tobey
yeah.
Maguire was on screen. It's like, that's my Spider-Man.
Yeah, me
You
too,
know?
man. Yeah.
Yes.
I still haven't seen it. Like, to be honest with you, I still
well,
haven't seen
I'm
it.
sorry, Twobold. You can
No, that's fine. I don't care.
You
Trust me.
you had to
we'll
have
watch
known
it
that by
later.
now.
We'll watch it
Yeah.
later.
Oh, I
We
know.
have to
I
watch it
100%
later
knew he was
today.
in there already.
Okay.
We have to
I
watch it
already
later
knew that.
today, at least. Can we?
I'm just so behind on all the Spider-Man movies. I've seen, what's the most recent one besides that? Is it like the one with Mysterio?
No Way
I still
Home?
haven't seen that one. Yeah, I still haven't seen that one.
That's the one. Yeah,
Like,
that's what Louis talking about.
No,
Yeah.
not with Mysterio.
Oh, with
Yeah,
Mysterio.
whatever the Mysterio one
Far.
is, I
That's
still
Far
haven't
From
seen that
Home.
one.
No Way Home is the
Yeah.
latest one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I haven't seen Far From Home, and I definitely haven't seen No Way Home or whatever. I think that they did a really cool job with Spider-Man because now he actually looks like a kid.
Yeah.
Instead of like Tobey Maguire, and you're just like, or not Tobey, what's his name? Is it Tobey Maguire?
Tom Holland.
No. Our Spider-Man from our generation.
Tobey
What's his
Maguire,
name?
yeah.
It is, okay. I thought I was mistaking him for like a country singer for a second there.
He
But
does kind of sound
besides
like
the
a...
point. What the hell is his name though? Like,
Tobey Maguire, you have it.
no, yeah, but like the country singer. It doesn't matter. Either way.
Toby something,
I just
dude,
thought,
something
yeah.
Toby.
Yeah, but like that Spider-Man was like, I thought he was not a student or anything like from a college or whatever. Like he was.
Yeah,
just,
they
like,
kind of
full
gloss
ass
over that,
adult.
though.
Yeah, like because in the comics he's a kid for the most part, and then eventually he becomes adult Spider-Man who most people know about. But like they're just like, oh no, he started out pretty young when he first became Spider-Man apparently, and I thought that was a great thing because you have like all three ages. You have like in high school. Definitely a college student, and then someone I
Andrew
thought
Garfield,
was like,
and Andrew Garfield is like the college student one.
yeah.
I was so stubborn growing up. I actually only saw 1 and 2 a week before No Way Home came out before I saw it because I was just like, he's probably going to be in it. Yeah, no, I was stubborn watching, like growing up. I was just like, no, Toby is my Spider-Man. I wouldn't shit talk it to other people, but I never showed interest in watching the movie. Like, don't get me wrong. I was just like, I'm sure Andrew Garfield's great. I never was open about being like, I've never seen that movie. He's not my Spider-Man, that type of, not annoying about it, but yeah, I never saw it until a week before, and they were good. I should have seen them when they first came out, like during
That
the hype.
scene with Electro when he's saving like all the people when he's like in the middle of the city, and like you get the cool shots of him like pulling people away from the railings that are electrified or whatever. I was like, that's one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen.
Those were dope.
That was a really, really well done like scene or whatever. Like that. That's like a pinnacle Spider-Man moment.
Yeah, and they gave you the Spider-Man POV shots where it's like you literally see it from his perspective, just shooting around. the city.
I will say, Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield both did the funnier aspects of Spider-Man better than Tobey. Like that was more of a focus about it.
Shut your fucking mouth.
I'm just saying, man. Like,
but there's so many times where it's just like awkward humor, and I think because of how awkward it was, people quote it and they find it so funny now. And that's going back to what Louis said before. It's the nostalgia. Like, what is one of the lines that he literally says in the movie? I'm gonna kick some dirt in your eye. Like, if he used to, he would never write that in modern day. Like,
that's a nice suit. Did your boyfriend get it for you?
Yes.
I love. Did you ever see the meme of that scene where it's just like, "That's a nice sweater. Did your boyfriend make that for you?" And then it just goes to like this paragraph response where the guy's like,
so,
"Yes, my boyfriend did make it for me."
Yeah.
And you know what? We have a very loving relationship where he often gives me gifts and I return the favor. And you are on the wrong side of history, Spider-Man. History will not remember you. I've got you for 3 minutes. That was one of the funniest memes I've seen for so long. Because it's just a picture of him in that shitty costume, just like his eyes get wider. Oh, it's so good, man. Spider-Man's such a good hero.
Oh, yeah.
He's just good enough where you're going to be like, oh, he's definitely, like, way stronger than most people, but he's not Superman where it's just like, you need one specific green crystal in order for him to even be threatened. It's like, Spider-Man can reasonably lose to people, which is, still cool, but it takes a hell of a lot to get there.
I never
read
read
a psychic ability to predict shit.
I never read any comics growing up, like, at all. The closest that I got to that was Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, good series, though.
Great series.
I only read the Harvey
Hobbs
Boys.
Amazing.
The Harvey Boys?
I never read any Hardy Boys, actually.
Oh, no. No, not Hardy Boys. Tintin. I read those books.
I know what you're talking about, but no, I never read those either.
I didn't see the movie. I have a very great memory of Tintin and all of his adventures. I didn't want to watch the movie.
The movie is actually really, really good.
Should I watch it?
100%. Like, it's really good. Plus, they do like a cameo from like he gets a portrait of himself done in like a park, and it's like the old school like picture of what Tintin looks like as like whatever the thing is called where you like embellish on people's details or whatever. Like that specific art style. I don't remember. But
wait, there's a scene that's dedicated to nostalgia, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Louis, you're right. That's all that they get us with nowadays.
But was it like that for the other, was it like that for our parents? Or no, they're kind of like just into new shit, right? Like they're into the Big Bang Theory and like House MD,
Yeah.
Did Friends ever come back? I mean, that would probably be the biggest thing from my mom. I know for a fact. I watched so much Friends.
No, if Friends comes back, it's gonna be for us because we watched it on Netflix.
Yeah.
And we have, for some reason, a super hard tied. Our generation loves Friends.
Do we?
Yeah.
I really don't know too many people that watch Friends. Like, I'm gonna be honest.
Then you must not know many girls. Because every girl I know,
I just don't know many of them that watch Friends. Normally, to be fair, the girls that I do know are into really weird shit. Like, I don't know, crime documentaries.
Oh,
just crime documentaries?
Documentaries. To be fair, I think everybody is super into. Like, if YouTube recommends me, this girl killed 17 people and then her parents and then herself, I'm not clicking that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's just a lot.
I think I'm just really desensitized to that shit at this point. Like, there has been so much awful shit that has happened on the news that I've seen and then some, that I'm just at this point I'm just there was a massacre at a local school. 2 people died. I'm like that's 2 people were murdered in a school and it's awful. But there have been so many school shootings that we've gone through that were the body count is significantly higher, and you're
I don't even think that the news covers it as much anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they're
good.
It's crazy,
honestly. But it happened so many times. It took a while for people to be can we please just stop covering these because it's not helping the situation.
Yeah.
And then they're just oh yeah, that probably makes sense. But they milked that dry to the point.
I don't think that's why they stopped it.
No,
I think it's because they milked it dry, and people stopped caring.
No, I think they
South Park even made a joke about it. Do you remember?
I've honestly have not watched too much South Park.
Mm-mm.
So in South Park, they the Stan's mom, or in Stan's elementary school, there's just a bunch of school shootings every day. Like, Stan's mom is like, "Oh my god, my baby!" And then his dad is like, "Ugh, why are you taking this so seriously? Like, nobody cares anymore." She has,
exactly.
and then she has to go to therapy. So,
Oh god,
it's a crazy thing. That's what I'm trying to get at, though. It's just like it happens so much that like I just get desensitized to that. So when like a crime thing comes on, it's like this woman murdered her husband. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Did she do something crazy? She stabbed him. Did she eat him?
She stabbed him because he ate the baby
50 times. Like
that'd be
an
a crazy
amount.
Stabbed him in the stomach, and then because he ate their baby, and then
okay. Now I'm just like, okay, now that's a story.
That's fucking awesome.
That's a lot. That's definitely something new. But like, she just stabbed him. I'm like, she's probably fucked up. There were probably some warning signs.
I do know what you're talking about. One thing that I'm watching recently, I'm almost finished with it, is the Tiger King, I believe it is the name of it. And apparently that went viral when it first released. And I learned about it from my family, and they were talking to me about it and just being like, this goes so much more past tigers. There's killings. There's like just a bunch of crazy shit, drug usage, like all that. And I'm watching it now, and like, yeah, it is going past the point of being an animal documentary about tiger keeping, but it's definitely not as hype as from what my cousins told me, and maybe that's because I am also
because
to the whole idea of that.
I mean, it was viral, so everybody was like very hype about it.
Yeah, but I mean, even watching it after hearing my cousins hype it up, I'm just like, I think this is a little exaggerated.
Wait, are you watching the second season or the first season?
The first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that I ever watched that was like super viral and like mainstream was like Squid Game, where I'm just like, oh yeah, no, this is really good.
That was great.
like the 6th episode, I think, is the one where it's just like, oh god,
so good. The glass episode.
Yeah, everybody has the same reaction to the 6th episode.
Yeah, of course. It's just like,
why didn't you warn me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'm not even going to go into it because if you haven't seen it, you genuinely watch to the 6th episode.
I know we were watching it, and
it's not even bad in the first.
Me and Joy were sitting like on we have a beanbag, and then I was sitting on my couch, and then it was just quiet when the episode went to the title screen or to the end screen credits, and then Joy was like, "Are you crying?" I was like, "Yeah."
I was thinking about it the entire time I was watching that show. I was just like, yeah, no, 100%. Like, $1 billion? Yeah, I'd fight for my life. 100%. Yeah. Like, either way, like, no matter what, that's a reasonable sum of money. You know? Like, that's a lot of money. And then when I asked Dan this, he was just like, yeah, no, I would never. My life is worth more than $1 billion. I'm like, your life is worth more than $1 billion? $1 billion with a B? Like, human life is sacred, but you can put a price to just about anything, and $1 billion buys pretty much anything at that point. Like, $1 billion. You know, people like back in the day were sold for like pocket change, right? Like,
I don't think there is anything
history.
I wouldn't do for $1 billion.
$1 billion. It's $1 billion. You could do whatever you want with $1 billion. You go up to Jeff Bezos and actually talk to him, and he would have to reasonably look you in the eye. And he'd be like, oh, you're part of the billion club. It's like, yeah, I killed a man. And he's like, wow, for $1 billion? Who was it? And I'm just like, I don't know, some guy that owed like $50,000 in debt. And you're just like, for $1 billion? It didn't really mesh that way. It's like, I'm just saying, like, kind of crazy. Like $1 billion, man. I would give up my arm. Well, I need my left arm for it at that point. My right arm, well, it's a little dicey.
Well, no more gaming.
Exactly, which is why I said it's a little dicey for the right arm.
Both arms.
I mean, I saw some dude with literally no arms get to Diamond in League playing Vygar using a pen in his mouth. Like, yeah, of course, but I mean, like, I could still do it. I'd still have $1 billion.
I'll give up both of my legs. I don't need those.
Oh, God. Yeah, they can give you... Yeah, I feel like legs are easier because all you get to do is walk and then balance, like with the, and then you can use the, what are, just a prosthetic leg type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandpa has a
and I've
prosthetic
seen people.
leg.
Yeah, people they can walk easily just with both. They might need a cane or something, but it's definitely doable.
My grandpa, I forget he has a prosthetic leg until like he sits down and he's like, "Ah, finally," and takes off his leg. I'm like, "What the? Oh yeah." I forgot you lost that one. Like, the worst part is like, there's a lot of ways you could lose your leg, right? My grandpa served in the military, and when he lost his leg, it was completely unrelated to that. Oh. Which is why I love how I lead it up, because people are just like, "Oh, he got it like blown off," or like, "No, it's completely unrelated." I like to say my grandpa's in the military and he lost his leg. They're not.
Is this how he likes to tell it too?
Well, I wasn't really tell it at all. I wish he did. He's not. My grandpa's not the funniest. I'm gonna be real with you. Like on my mom's side, and I don't know on my dad's side. Like he was gone way before I was born. But like on my mom's side, he's just very much like suburban father of like 3. Like he was a very just like calm, cool, and collected man. Like, this is my family. I work blue collar job and I just get things done. And like that was his thing. And he just was the handyman. Like he just could do anything with his hands and fix the car, etc. He wasn't very funny, but he would do everything by himself, which is why he lost his leg to begin with, because he's stubborn. And like he had to get something off the roof because like a branch fell on it or something. And my grandma was like, "You shouldn't go up there. You should just get one of the neighborhood kids to persnickety on up there and go grab it." And he's like, "I could do it myself." And he couldn't do it himself. The ladder fell, and then he like broke the bone in his leg. And like it got infected or something. And he's just like, "You can keep the leg, but you're gonna have to keep coming back in to get surgery." He's like, "Take the damn thing off."
Oh my God.
I don't need it. Yeah, and he's just like, "Okay." So they took it off, and he's like, "Oh, it's so much better now. I lost 30 pounds.
Oh my! So he is funny.
That was like the only joke he told about it.
That's a good joke.
Yeah,
that's a good joke.
But that was like the only joke that he like ever told. Like he was very much, he just liked retelling stories about how dumb my mom and my uncle were when they were kids. Because my aunt was just like the most grown up of them, so she never did anything wrong. She was a saint. Her mother was a party animal. That kind of thing.
My grandfather never spoke. He was so silent, just all the time. He was just known for saying like hello and goodbye, and that was it. But he had a
and then one day when you were on your way to college, he was like, "Philippe, I love you."
Well, no, unfortunately, he had passed away before then, R.I.P. But he had a pretty hardcore like lifestyle growing up, which was in Haiti at the time. There was a dictatorship going on. He worked in the government, and one of his friends was killed in a process of this dictatorship happening. So he ended up sending all of his daughters, like one of them being my mom, to America to just like escape Haiti. And then he lived with my grandmother for a year while my mom and aunts were all living in America for a whole year without them. And he was just like dealing with that for a whole year before he was able to move to America. And I think he had to like swap back and forth. And then they had to grow up in America.
In a dictatorship.
Yeah, in a dictatorship while you're like involved.
You ever think anyone else in the government looked and be like, "Where's the rest of your family?" He's like, "I don't know." It's a good question.
I never asked for the details. I was only told the story when I was a lot younger. And I guess I wasn't really interested to the point where I was asking for like specific details. But that's like the general basis of what I know I was told and what I can remember up to this day. I was like, that's so scary. Oh no, I could never. Like,
it's funny. You're on the other side. So I know a couple people that are from Haiti, and they're actually on the rich person side. So that like I think one of my friend's cousin's uncle was the dictator that you're speaking.
Oh my
Something
God.
Like
Well, I mean, now it's weird because
crazy.
it's still dangerous there. I think I mentioned this before. The people in my family that moved back to Haiti, they're like oilers and everything. They're rich. Like they are rich in Haiti, so much more than all the people that are from my family that are living in America. It's crazy. Yeah. But they still worry for all that's going on there. Like even currently,
it's just crazy how the lineage works. Like,
yeah.
You could just be living in America, and then your uncle is like a dictator somewhere. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is happening?
They're just so like one time when my aunt was visiting New York, apparently my dad went to go drive her around for the day, and she went to a mall, and my dad said, I'll wait in the car for you if you're going to be quick, because she said that she was going to be quick beforehand. And she went in, and apparently my dad was waiting in the car for 3 hours for her to go pick up one item, and she ended up coming back with 4 bags, all expensive products. I didn't know what they were, but yeah, and my dad was just like, yeah, no, I'm never... No, he was like, he holds it in, but he was furious. He didn't say it out. He didn't lash out to her, but he was telling me the story, and he goes, yeah, I'm never taking that part of the family out again. No, that was a lot. I thought this was going to be a 20-minute ordeal.
Yeah, like after like half an hour, why didn't you go, where the fuck? Where is she?
I don't know.
I would have been mad as hell.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
There's something
3
about
hours?
being stoic.
No way.
You have to be stoic, Twobold.
There's more than just stoicism at that point. It's just being stupid as well. It's like 3 hours, dude. You got to be stupid to wait in the car that long.
I mean, he definitely called her, and then she would just say, yes, I'm in line for something right now. And then it would just so happen that on the way back, she would find...
Like, okay, I'm finding you.
Yeah.
Like, you go in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stand waiting anymore. I blame my dad for that. Every time he dragged me and my brother into Home Depot, oh my God. It was like actual hell for a child. Home Depot is where childhoods are ruined, I'm pretty sure.
What do you mean there's cool?
It.
No, that's where you go screw with. If you are forced to sit in a Home Depot, there are so many display areas that you can just go and explore and mess around in. And they have... No,
Disagree.
You don't get fun out of that?
Nope, not at all. Back when you're a kid and it's your Saturday and your dad's like, come on, kids, it's my turn to look after you. We're going to Home Depot. You're like, fuck! We're not going to do anything fun today. Dad's going to stare at light bulbs for 12 hours.
You could run into Ben Shapiro, who's getting fine wood.
Yeah, okay, but he got one piece of wood. That couldn't have taken that long. My dad...
wood from Home Depot. And said, and when paparazzi came up to him or something, they're like, what are you doing? He's just like, this is fine lumber.
That's what it is in Home Depot. Home Depot's kind of like a time vortex. Whenever I went to Home Depot with my dad, it was like 4 hours later, just gone. It was
me and my brother, weird. I remember vividly, my dad would be like, I'm going to go grab whatever he was looking for. Usually it was like some kind of fastener or something. I'm like, all right, he's getting one thing. We're going to be here for like an hour. So me and my brother would go over to the tractors, like the lawnmowers or whatever, the big ones, and we would just pretend to race on those things for like 10 minutes, and I'd be like, I'm bored. And then we would wander and find my dad, and he'd just be staring there. He'd be sitting there with his hands on his hips, just staring at the wall, and I'd be like, Dad, did you find it yet? And he's like, I don't think so.
Your family is a bunch of jokesters, like, dude.
We don't need help. I'm like, I think we could get it, and we could just leave. And he's like, you know what? It's been like an hour and a half. He's like, we're going to go check Lowe's. I'm like, fuck! And just start throwing stuff. Why is it? If you can't find it at Home Depot, you have to go to Lowe's. It drove me and Skylar insane. Oh, my God. Dude, I hated it. My entire day just gone because we'd have to sit there in a place that smells like wood and sawdust. And I hate it.
I kind of like the smell of wood and sawdust. To this day, I still can't do woodworking.
Makes me angry. I was doing carpentry in school and I was getting mad. I would be like, Christian, why are you so angry? He's just like, bad memories. Just going through the buzzsaw, pushing wood, making nothing. There's a lot of rage from my childhood. I think I should get that looked at, but so I'll just internalize it.
I think you have a lot to look at, honestly.
But it's not even like major things. They're just grievances I had as a kid.
Yeah, a lot of the times when you're getting upset at things, it's just like, it doesn't, I love the passion, but I think the fact that a lot of people find it funny, it's just like, I don't know. It's not traumatizing. It's just.
I think that's what makes us a good yin and yang, Twobold. Like when we get into an argument about something that we're both kind of passionate about, but we know very little about. Like
it's just about how I feel, Lewis. But it doesn't make sense.
When I was in college, me and my buddies, we had these things called sex bets. And
sex what?
Sex bets.
Sex bets. Okay.
And basically, it was the next time you have sex, you have to do this thing, and then we have to confirm it with the girl that it happened.
Oh, God.
And then we would then buy them dinner. And for college kids, that's a lot of money. Like, you know, it's not like some little like thing. It's like, oh, okay, like, you know, we each have to give you $20. It's like, so like we all had different sex packs. I'm not gonna say any names, but there was 5 of us. One of them was you have to pee on the girl's bed or on your bed when it's happening.
What?
One of them was when she undresses in front of you, you have to go to the bathroom and pretend like you're throwing up.
That's so fucked, dude. These are messed up bets.
Mine was when I'm reaching climax, I have to yell, "Mom, Mom, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about my mom." Like,
oh my God!
And if you could confirm, and if you could confirm that it happened, it was we got dinner, and thankfully, not thankfully, but we all did it. Like, all of us got fucking like. I thought that was so cool. That was such a. They could be like turned into a movie. I think
that's so fucked up.
Yeah, some like American Pie type shit or something.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Sex bets. That would be the best.
And then one person falls
ever.
in love with their sex bed, and then she gets really offended. You know, like, oh, so I'm just a conquest for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a hell of a movie, dude. So Louis got a movie idea. Phish had a book idea that he wanted me to help him write.
What was your book
remember
idea?
That?
We were drinking that night. It was the dumbest shit ever. It was.
You were so adamant about wanting to make this book happen. I thought it was the funniest thing on the planet. Like, I'm gonna humor him. How far does this go?
I like the whole idea of, in just the history of this world, whenever there is a lack of this supply on Earth or some, I guess, for example, water-related environmental damage to the world, then there would be somebody that was born with the ability to like control water or just like shoot water out of their hands and everything. And their duty that they were born on that earth to do during that lifetime is to just save the earth from, I guess, their damage.
Stabilize it?
Yeah, stabilize with like water or whatever.
So Avatar?
Well, no,
It's one element.
There's only one person that has like the control over that, and it is their sole duty throughout their life to save that. And then basically throughout the history, there's only been like one person spawning at a time. But in present day, because of all the shit that's going on in the world, it just so happens that there are 4 people. Of course, yes, this does follow the idea of Avatar. That there are 4 elemental people that are spawned at the same time. And they get born as babies, and they grow up with the powers, and they like learn about them. Like, I had an idea that like the 2 of the elements are like good people, and then 2 of the elemental people are bad people. And then there's like other things that I remember. Apparently, man learns how to make artificially elemental created people, and like somebody has like
a radioactive baby is born.
Yeah. Like they learn how to control. I thought electricity would be good because like man controls electricity. They have all these electronic products.
Air conditioning man.
Yeah, just stuff like that. But I think it would be more. Not that's something like as simple as that. I think it would be. Just 4 main people that have like super strength and elemental powers, and then there would be conflict between them of like one of them gets too extreme about it, and he has this kind of Thanos ideal where he needs to control, I guess,
the population
more land and like start killing people out because that's apparently the only way to save it. And he's just arguing there's a reason that all 4 of us are here right now in this very moment. We need to like take down
well, spoilers, dude.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, I was just like, so like, would you make it so that like really significant characters in history would be like people from those elements? Be like Moses was the first waterbender.
I like that.
That would be so.
Yeah,
that
people go.
I like that idea. Yeah.
What's the water?
Or like Einstein. Einstein was the first like electrical guy or whatever. The fucking or Thomas Edison.
Edison.
Yeah. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, so I was telling him that, and I'm just like, what would Jesus be? And he'd be like, oh, it's got to be Earth, right? Like, he's like, he opened the door, he brought
it has to be water, right?
He walked on water, right? And it's just like, yeah, but like, he also did all that stuff with like things you wouldn't associate with.
Or he could have been like the ultimate
water.
one, like had a couple different powers, you know?
Either way, we were trying to figure out what the hell Jesus was, and he was like, what if he was a baker because he always made bread?
He's just a fisherman. He can multiply fish.
It's just a dude that was really good with bread.
No, but I remember for that week after we talked about that, I was legitimately throwing ideas into my head. Like, there would be a limit to the power, and, like, this would be cool to see on film, is that they can always control their powers, but if they go too far above their limit, then their eyes, like, glow, and they just have, like, a huge power burst for an extent, or a short period of time, and then after that they die. And then you know, if what is it? The Earth is still suffering from whatever element they were under, then another baby would be born with that power immediately after that.
I was trying to tell him, like, I was trying to ask him how he would establish the universe and stuff, and he started getting overwhelmed.
Yeah,
like, all right, so
I don't know, Twobold. Yeah, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so like, how are these kids raised? Are they told about people from the past?
Yeah,
or it's like, it's all just mythos, and it's like, is there a secret society? And Phish is just like,
I had a little basis, and the whole idea is that the first story setting is that it's one of the elemental people who is the protagonist. I didn't establish which one of them it would be. I think, like, an easy one would either be wind or water, because it's just like, you know, you see fire and earth, like, as earthquakes and forest fires and all that, so those are destructive elements. But I pictured
the world is running out of helium. Would there be just like a helium dude?
What are you with you on your helium kick? Why are you like on this whole the Earth is running out of helium thing?
Because it's fucking funny.
You know, but it would be one of them.
3 days. It's just been talking about how the Earth is
I haven't heard
running
you bring
out
up
of
helium once.
Tungsten guy.
Tungsten guy.
Literally just random elements. He's just really impassioned about them with zero knowledge about them. He's like, oh no, I heard that the word that's running out of helium. Like, how do we
Did
get
you
more?
see our
Just
live
like,
stream, Twobold?
Where
I was like, hey, Phish, you hear this? I was like, on metal, I was like, that's good old tungsten.
That was during the IRL stream that we did. My first ever IRL stream where we went to Santa Monica Pier.
Santa Monica, yeah. I want to, for my IRL stream, I definitely don't want to do something that heavy. I want to do something smaller.
Like what?
I don't know. I don't want to be like walking around a bunch. I want to go to like a bar or like anything.
Yeah, I like that. I did feel it was a little bit overwhelming as a first time IRL stream because there's so much. What I'm nervous about is pointing the camera at things or people, which is basically
in general,
like
Santa Monica is fucking overwhelming. Like, even without a stream, it's just so much shit going on.
Well, yeah, I just didn't like the idea of being there out with the camera in front of all these people that are doing street performances and everything, and they're taking like tips and everything. And I would think that if I pointed the camera at them once, they'd immediately... I guess this is kind of like a New York fear. I don't really know the vibe
what you
here.
doing? Hey,
but yeah, it's just like, hey, why are you recording me, bud?
Yeah,
I was kind of nervous about that because I've definitely had moments like that where you just make eye contact with somebody in the middle of the city and they immediately take it as a threat. It's just like, you look at me for a fucking reason, and it's like, no, sorry, you were in my vision.
I think it's so funny that Yi got basically mugged for $50 by a bunch of people dressed up as like Spider-Man, or was it?
Wait, what?
Dude, okay, at Hollywood Boulevard, Yi and a couple of other people were there. He told me about the story. I wasn't there with them. And he has the picture to prove it, that there are those people that are dressed up in these, I guess, cartoon characters, like superheroes and all that. They went up to him.
Get pictures.
And they started talking to him, took a picture with Yi, and then they were just like, all right, that'll be $50. And he was like, what? And then more and more crowded around him. I don't know how he got separated from the group. I think it was because he said his social battery was drained, so he was all alone. So it was like 5 people dressed as mascots and all that. They were crowding around him being like, you need to give up the money now. So he was, I guess, he gave in. He gave them the $50. And then I saw the photo. It is a horrible photo. Like, Yi is just looking at the guy. Even in the photo, it looks like he's already being jumped. It's not even like the photo, first of all, the angle is taken from somebody's shoe level. Up at Yi, you can the mascot isn't even looking at the camera; it's looking at him, so you can't even see which mascot it is. And then, yeah, apparently he paid $50 for it.
They just prey on foreigners. They have to.
I think that's exactly what happened.
$50. They told him it was like $10, and he went into his wallet and only pulled out a $50 bill and gave it to them.
Oh,
and they all just
happened?
scattered to the wind. But like the thing is, he could have just walked away. That would have been fine. Like, he could have just done that, but he was just so overwhelmed. He was like, okay. Which I think is just like such a Yi thing to have happen to him. Like anyone else would have just been able to walk away, but Yi just
I've been in that moment before.
Deer in headlights.
I was at a gas station filling up my car, and this dude came up to me. He's like, "Hey, can I get some money?"
Oh.
And then this dude came up to me. He's like, "Hey, can I get some money?" And I was like, I guess. And then I pull out my wallet. I pull out like a $5 bill. And then he looks at my wallet. He's like, "Hey, there's a 20 in there." I was like, "Yeah, but that's mine." He's like, "Can I have that too?" It's like, I guess.
Wow,
they put you in a situation. It's like, are you gonna beat me up? Like, what's gonna happen here? Because they're not like passively asking. He's like, "Hey man, can you help me out? You know, I need some money." He's like, "Yo, you got some money?"
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's aggressive. You know,
yeah.
I don't know.
You want me to
It's
tell
calm,
you
but
the
it
two
is
interactions
aggressive.
I've had? These are pretty great. Because the first one was when I was in college. No, this was before I was in college, actually. I was in New York, and I was with some friends, and we were going under like one of these scaffolding things, and there were some people that were trying to sell their like CDs or whatever, I guess. One of the guys was just like, "Hey, do you want my CD?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, well, I'll take it. I'll take a listen to it." He's like, "Oh, it's like,
oh, you have to
I'm
pay.
like,
Never
I'm
take
like,
the CD."
Yeah, I was just like, I don't even know what's on that, man. You're gonna make me pay $20? I don't even want that from like a main band. And he's just like, "Well, you got a problem with my CD?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what's on it, asshole." And I just walked away. That was my entire thing with it. He was getting so aggressive about it. I just merged back in with the group of people that was just walking away, and I just walked away. That was my first one.
We have a fucking my whole group knows D Block is this dude that hangs out at Dolphin Mall, giving you his CD and then makes you pay for it. And we all have it. We all have the CD. It's in my car. No, well, it's not terrible. But I remember I listened to it exclusively for like 2 weeks in my car. I was like, I'm gonna get my money's worth.
That's funny.
And then
the
you have
second one that happened with me that I think is way better was when I was in college. There's this dude that was near one of like the cafeterias or whatever, and he was like on the other side of the street that I was like coming from, and I had to cross the street and I had to stand next to him, and he was like, "Hey man, could I get some food, or maybe like, I don't know, $10?" And I was like, I just looked up at him and I pulled out my wallet and I pulled out a ramen packet. I was like, "This is all I got."
What do you mean a ramen packet?
I had a ramen packet in my wallet.
Did you have a ramen?
Like with the ramen or just
No, you just mean the fucking
like the
seasoning.
The little seasoning of ramen. I just pulled that out. I'm like, "This is all I got." And he looked at me, and he had this look on his face of just being so perplexed. And he was just like, "You need that more than I do." And I was just like, "Thank you." And I just walked across the street into the cafeteria.
Who takes a ramen packet and puts in their wallet? The only thing I can imagine is you were just plastered and thought it was a condom. That's the only thing that I can imagine went through your mind to have the audacity to put a ramen packet inside of your wallet. Like,
I was just going to show him it was empty, but I just saw the ramen packet and I was like, "I have a ramen packet?" I was like, "This is all I got."
Yo,
That's that vine of the robber going into somebody's house, and it ends up being like a college student's house. It's like, "Yo, give me your wallet," and the college student standing like just normally gives him the wallet. The guy opens up, vine thumb sound, nothing in the wallet. He's like, "Yeah, where's your money?" "I don't have any money." Boom. "What do you mean you don't have any money?" "Here, take this wallet back. You know, everything's gonna be fine. Here, do you need some money? I can help you out." It's like, yeah, that'd be good.
There's actually a moment like that though that actually happened to me and my friends, like the same intersection. Like there was a guy that was just sitting there and he was looking like super sketchy. Like he had a really puffy coat on, his hand was like jammed in his pocket or whatever.
Sure.
And my friends was like, "Hey, we shouldn't probably be like near that guy or whatever. Like we just cross like over here." I was mad as hell that day. Like I was super pissed because one of my projects that I'd been working on just got completely scrapped. Like they told me that none of it was workable, and I was just furious. I'm like, I'm not gonna cross. I'm gonna cross the fucking section. I'm going right to dinner. I'm just gonna eat my food. I'm gonna be fine. And I was just sitting there mad as hell. And I walked over, and this guy just came over to me, or like he was like next to me. He was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna need some money." And I'm just like, "I'm a college student. I got shit." And I just walked past him. And he just looked at me. He was like, okay. It just walked right past him across the intersection and went to dinner. My friend came in like 5 minutes later. He's like, dude, what the fuck was that? I was just like, I ain't got shit, man. He can have whatever he wants, but it ain't gonna be from me. I just sitting there and I ate some like crackling oat bread. And I was just eating cereal. I'm just like, I got shit. The audacity.
Oh my goodness.
I was just mad as hell. Apparently security like eventually like, you know, walked up to him and he had nothing in his pocket and just sent him on his way or whatever. But like, I wasn't being intimidated by shit. I was like, you gonna kill me? Do it. I ain't got nothing. Like at some point you just, I don't know, I was just so mad because normally I would have been like, yeah, we should probably like, you know, give him like good distance, you know, avoid that whole confrontation. I was like, I wasn't having it. I'm like, that's the fastest way to the food court. I'm taking that way.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
amazing. You get mad enough, eventually you stop thinking. So, you know, that's
how my one of my buddies would deal with like homeless people or people that were like asking for money. Because one, we were poor, so we don't have a lot of money. And he would just, as soon as somebody would come, I was like, hey man, do you have any money? He's like, yo, I ain't friendly. Get the fuck away from me. Like,
Oh shit. Oh, shit. I could never. Oh my goodness.
sitting in his like what you would call a hoopty, like really the most rundown car you've ever seen, and I'm sitting in the passenger seat like, I guess he's not friendly. You know? I would back away from the car, my friend.
Oh my god. Oh, that's so funny. I was choked on my water there for a second there. I ain't friendly.
I guess yeah. Most of the times when people come up to me asking for money, it was a very quick exchange. When I was like young, I would always be like, I would always hope that my mom would do it because I had a very unrealistic idea when I was in the single digits of age. To say when I was having this idea was I wanted to make a mini place where homeless people could come into my house and then have dinner on my balcony. And I was like, Mom, we should do this when I'm older. Like, have the balcony set for homeless people to come and have dinner for free. So I always wanted her to give money whenever. I would never say it, like, out loud, but I would always encourage my mom to give them money when I was a lot younger. And but then as I grew up, yeah, I feel like they would just always come up to me. It would be a very quick exchange where I wouldn't always do it. I'll be honest, but they just asked me and I'd say, no, I don't have anything, and then they'd walk off. I don't really have any extreme stories like that.
I think it's got to be harder to be homeless nowadays because, like, I don't carry money in my wallet.
I don't
know
carry
about
cash.
you guys. I have, like, no money. My dad does. Like,
I'm the one person in LA that carries cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it.
Phish is
like,
always paying for the parking.
Yeah, I believe it.
We went to a fucking McDonald's the other day. Mind you, it was midnight, but still, it's McDonald's that only accepted cash.
Unbelievable.
What?
Unbelievable.
They only accepted
In this
cash
day
at
and
McDonald's?
age. Yes, at McDonald's. It was absurd. It was St. Patrick's night when I went with Ruben and AJ. And
So weird, dude. I don't
And
think
you paid for everybody?
I can't wrap my mind around that. Yeah. Why? What?
Yeah.
You think it was just some kid that was like on the very like last hour? He's like,
No, there was a sign. There was a sign on it at the window when we got up there.
yeah, I bet there was. He put it there.
No, I don't think so.
Could you imagine? Management's just like, what the fuck is this? What do you mean? We're not taking credit. Of course we're taking credit. It's just like, I don't know who put that there.
I don't know. I mean,
Oh my
especially
God,
in
it's so
California
funny.
too, like, not to be like, you know, shaming homeless people or anything like that or like whatever, but like there are a lot of social programs in like a lot of liberal states like for homeless people that all you have to do is go to a specific place and be like, hey, I'm homeless, and they'll help you out. Like I think literally down my street, this like tiny home condominium opened up where it's like a bunch of like one little bedroom like trailers, and you can just go there for free and like sign up to stay there for a few weeks. Like there's so many different like things that you can do, but I just don't, you know, a lot of people, I don't know what it is. I mean, a lot of people are just like not mentally well. Kind of sucks, dude. It's hard to think about, especially in New York. Because the first time I went there, my general thing was like, oh yeah, I can give you a few bucks. And then I did it to the first person, and then my friends that were living in New York that were showing me around were like, don't ever do that. Like, don't ever give them money because you will. There is every fucking street. There is like 8 homeless people that will ask you for money. It's like, yeah, we just ignore. Everybody just does their thing. It's like crazy, man.
I also learned that apparently with homeless people is that once they have a place to live, they are just so bizarre. It's so bizarre to them, the idea of having their home, that even when they have a roof to live under, they just still spend time outside just because they're not used to it. Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing with homeless people is the fact that they just have very little social interaction, like, at all, for the most part. Like, that's, like, the craziest part, because they're, like, basically pariahs of modern society. Like, if you think about it, like, when's the last time you saw a homeless person talking with anyone? Like, you pass, like, dozens and dozens of people on the street, and no one even looks at you. It's as if you're not even there anymore. So, like, it's crazy how starved they are for just, like, normal interactions. So you have to, like, keep that in mind as well.
When I was younger, when I was in college, and we would go to the gas station, I would talk to this one homeless dude every time I would go and, like, pick up, like, cigarettes or something.
Oh.
I'd just go and talk to him and give him a cigarette and be like, hey, how are you doing? Everything good? You know? I always thought that was nice.
But it just seems like it's probably made the highlight of that man's life. Or that day, at least. Whatever the case was.
This is sad.
I know J3 is doing the most recent, like, wholesome episode thing that we talked about before. That's going on right now. I saw a clip of it. I'm not sure if it's released yet or not, but he was just talking with this homeless dude. They were, like, in line to get stuff, and you could just see how happy the guy was to just be doing something. And I'm pretty sure, like, just being able to talk with someone on top of that was, like, you know, icing on the cake.
I've seen a bunch of TikToks about, like, this guy was like, oh, I want to help out this homeless person, but first I think the guy needed a friend. So they went to, like, an amusement park and, like, had a lot of fun together. Then he got him cleaned up and got him a job, like, doing stuff. It's pretty awesome, man, to see, like, all that shit. It's I know it's, like, for content and shit, and you can say what you want about that, but you're actually helping somebody. It doesn't matter if you're filming it or not, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's like the people need to, you know, calm down.
I think if your heart's in the right place about it altogether, even if you're filming it, it's usually pretty obvious if you're watching the video. You can tell most of the time.
Yeah, it's not like fucking, what's his name, Rice Gum, like, making it rain on a homeless person. Yeah. That's the worst shit. Dude, he literally went up to a homeless person and was like, yo, you want some cash? And then the homeless guy's like, yeah. And then he literally stood over him with a stack of cash and going like this, like what you would do like with a stripper. Fucking asshole.
Jesus.
There's a bit from, I think it was Daniel Tosh. I love Tosh's stand-up. It's like just on the perfect edge of like edgy and mainstream. I love it. It's great. But like one of them was just like, I would love to go around with like just huge cargo pants just filled with cash or whatever, and I'd just be walking around through New York and just wait for the first homeless person to come up to me like, hey man, you got any cash? And I would just be like, you just won the fucking lottery, motherfucker, and just dump just quarters after quarters from my pockets. Just like you like a little, he'd have a backpack where like the thing would go off like a slot machine, just like, you just won the lotto. Just quarters everywhere, and just pour countless dollars of change on him. It always made me laugh at the idea. Just be like, you just won the lottery. There's like 4,000 quarters just everywhere. Oh man, he makes a lot of really good points though when he's doing his stand-up, because he gets like unnecessarily angry at things, like when he goes to like Subways or whatever, and he sees like, who the fuck is putting the artwork in these Subways that you can buy? Like, I go in and I see that, hey, it's a nice piece of artwork. How much is it? $700. What the f*** are you smoking? Why don't you bolt this from my urinal and get it in my home?
It's your humor.
Exactly, which is why it meshes so well.
Yeah,
I love Todd. He's probably one of my favorite stand-up comedians ever. He's so good. Him and Anthony Jeselnik, but Anthony Jeselnik is like purely dark humor. It's so funny. Like super messed up.
Yeah.
Oh, highly recommended if you're into that. Like you can't go wrong with his delivery is just immaculate, dude. The pauses are so deliberate. It's so good. I wish I could do stand-up. That shit's hard, man. Doing actual stand-up is damn near impossible. I don't know how to craft a joke like that.
Oh,
I can make a moment funny. I can't make a.
Reggie's been doing it. He went on 30 minutes before fucking what's this fucking guy? Dave Chappelle.
No shit.
Yeah. Reggie was doing a set at the Comedy Store, and Dave Chappelle just showed up and then did 2 hours.
That's crazy, man.
Do we have any final closing statements?
Make sure your car is taken out regularly so it doesn't get tire rot.
Clean your rooms. I have to clean mine.
Yeah, clean your rooms, definitely. Spring's coming, spring cleaning. Get in the right headspace. Clean your bathroom especially. If you see red anywhere in your bathroom,
that means there's mold.
Get rid of that. It's gross. You're disgusting. Just putting that out there. It's time to clean. Do it.
Look at me. Clean.
Look at me. You are vile. And you live in filth.
And then if you did clean, comment in the comment section that you cleaned. It will be very
so fresh and so clean.
I will be proud of you.
Clean.
Yes, and on that note, thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Phish Tank podcast. We will see you guys next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Adios.
Goodbye.